Hello, and yes, I do know now that the final episode of Osmodic Earth Season 1, it has like background music. So I'm just going to talk mm, like if you watched the final, then you know that then it has like those um all of that stuff like going on the map, but not but nobody heard me actually saying what's going on in the video, so I'm going to explain what happened um because there was like barely any audio. So um first thing that happened, um wait hold on. First thing that happened, I'm watching the same I'm watching the finale that I posted just to make sure uh like what I'm getting is right, so I could say what happened. um and because of this, there I'd probably make like a new special 10 sub special, so I'm just pointing that out. But first thing that happens is the two countries up north were fighting, and the blue team um goes pretty deep into the panhandle, uh and um near when the panhandle gets a little bit thicker and like goes to the actual main part where most of the population lives, the red team makes a comeback and starts taking liberating their panhandle and their border with the blue team. um and it goes very successfully, and they re-liberate the entire country. um and then the blue team launches a second, no, oh my god, the red team actually pushes into the blue team a little bit, but the blue team quickly takes it back, and they decide to attack up north because less troops, and all the troops move up north, so there's barely any troops in the south of it, um, and the troops go far, and they use the red team's own strats to the blue team's advantage, and they encircle a large amount of troops. And with that, they push very deep into the country again, down the panhandle. And this time they learn from their mistakes. So when it came to the same spot that they got pushed back at the first attempt, they decided to push in from the north and the south, and then they make a spearhead going towards the capital, and they cut off a large amount of a large chunk of land, and and they encircle the capital, and eventually the country falls. So yeah, they have a tough time pushing into the capital because that's where most of the population lives. but they eventually did, and the country falls. So yeah. So this is taking a little bit of time to color in the entire thing. But I did it. I colored in the entire thing eventually. And the next thing that happens is, of course, in the south, northern part of the world, the red team, and the Kalina Empire, decide to fight, and what is it? Wait, did they? I'm pretty sure that's what happens next. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is what happens. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Like, it's so weird without the audio in this. But the Kalina Empire pushes into that small little country that gained their independence from the Red Team a couple episodes, like in episode 7, I think. And the country is split between the Kalina Empire and that big red, the big red country in the south, and the Kalina Empire are doing all the work. They got more, but the red team pushes into their little exclaves in that island that broke off the mainland continent, and they successfully invade it, and now the entire island is controlled by the red team. And a little fight, I'm pretty sure a little battle takes place on the border between, like a war between the Kalina Empire and the Red Team on their border. Yeah, and the Red Team sails to the south of their colony, and even pushes in from the north, and major advancements happen on the border, and the Red Team takes a lot of the coast, but the Yellow Team almost wipes out all of the Red Team's troops in the south, the people who sailed, but in the north they were doing fantastic. And they cut off a little piece, and they invade it successfully. And they cut another piece of it off, but the Kalina Empire successfully breaks the cutoff from their exclave, and all the troops in the south are wiped out, and a spearhead starts happening and cuts the invasion in half. But the red team, I needed to fix that border. The blue team, and from the north, the red team, decides to start invading, and they're pretty weak. So, the red team's plan is just to ignore the invasion in the north, take out the Kalina Empire in the south, and then they fight with that with the blue team and to the north of them, and they're trying to capture the coast as much as possible, and it goes I'd say pretty successfully, and eventually they do cut off all the coast, and the Kalina Empire and that part of the world surrenders to the red team, and they don't fully surrender, but only that part of it surrenders. And in the peace treaty, the red team gets all of the stuff that they got. They successfully invaded, and now they move up. Now they send their troops up north to battle the blue team. But that small little place that gained their independence in the last video decides to start invading the blue team, and the thing is that they're stupid rich, so they can afford large amounts of military, and that's what they do. They start invading the blue team. So it's pretty small advancements at first, but like nobody lives in the place that they're invading. Like basically no one besides like a couple farmers. So the science team just keeps rolling in, and they get large amounts of land before the blue team even notices. And they start a spearhead, and by the time that the blue team notices, it's already too late because the science team, it just gets so far in to the country that, yeah, like I said, it's too late because they got two fronts they have to deal with now, and they border a lot of countries, so that would make it even worse. But and the science team destroys the western part of the blue team, and even goes down to meet the border and starts invading the red team, even invading the invasion of the red team. And the blue team is not having fun with this, and the science team makes a second spearhead, but then stops the spearhead. But then they cut off a large amount of land with a large amount of population, and the science team gets a lot of land, and they start invading the blue team even more in their front against the red team, but the red team cuts them off from any more land that the red team owns that's getting invaded by the blue team. So the blue team is like, we won't surrender, and then like the red team successfully kicks them out, and the blue team is still like, we won't surrender, and then the red team captures the capital, and they're like, okay, we surrender. So they surrender fully, and their entire country gets split, and there's a lot of chaos happening in the southern part of the world, and lots of war, but there's gonna be even more, so buckle up. But the science team gets a lot more land gets a lot more land than they used to have, because like they were the smallest country and now they're like decently sized. Nowhere near the biggest, but like they're definitely bigger than they used to be. And they started invading this one country that gained their independence in, I think, episode 8 or 9. I'm pretty sure it was 8. But yeah, they started invading, and each country that they border starts invading them. So, yellow. But the Kalina Empire makes mass progress in the country, and the science team starts taking a lot also. But the red team that was just in the war, they don't have the border to get that land, so they try to march through the Gandhi tribe to get there, and this is seen as an act of aggression. And they start fighting on their border, and the Uganda tribe absolutely destroys the red team in the north. So a large amount of troops are taken, and everything in the north is just getting destroyed. And even the Cyan team is starting to fight them. And I remember this part. This is the part where I had to eat dinner. I had to eat dinner at this time, so I just paused OBS. Because apparently that's a feature that you could do. And it's just paused for this entire time. Oh. Yeah, so I pause it, and I eat dinner, and then I come back from eating dinner, and I go straight back to the invasion. Major advancements from the Cyan team, and also and like all the fighting is going on the Cyan team's invasion border, so the Uganda tribe could just sneak their way down the coast and cut the Cyan team off, and that's what they do. They successfully cut off the Cyan team from the red team, and lots of fighting and on like the border between the Cyan and the red team, and there's a push trying to get to the capital, and it goes pretty decently well, and they even I think they might even encircle the capital. But it is there is an exclave part of the invasion, and not a lot happens for a couple weeks, and then they encircle the capital, successfully take out the capital, and successfully make the red team surrender. So, lesson learned: don't mess with the Uganda tribe, because they just cut you off and took down an entire massive country. True, they aren't an empire. True, that massive country is not an empire, and the Ugandan tribe is, but they took it down in a matter of months, like in 1 year. Well, probably even less. And they even take that little island that the red team has, and their island is just theirs now. So the border is again the invasion, like what parts each country invaded. So the Cyan team barely gets anything, and the Ugandan tribe gets almost everything. So again, lesson learned: don't mess with the Ugandan tribe. They just took down a massive country just because that massive country was trying to get some land from a country that is very weak and being invaded. And guess what happens next? The Ugandan tribe steals the idea of also taking a bunch of land from that weak country. But before that they do that, we see the Ugandan tribe like, hey, join us or we'll kill all of you, and then make you join us. Oh yeah, and also I found a sussy imposter among us, but it wasn't actually one, so I just drew my own one. I'm gonna draw one. I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna make it small. Well, that's... So I did find a sussy imposter among us. Memes are funny. This is what happens when you subscribe to my channel. This is the content that you get. Sussy imposter, funny. I'm sorry. So yeah, but lots of fighting, chaos, red. So yes, the Among Us dude went with us to the new world, and the green and the Rivoli tribe who got asked to join the Ugandan tribe or die say, of course we'll join you, just please don't kill us. And the Ugandan tribe's like, fine, okay, we do that. And that's what they do that. They do it. So yeah, Sussy imposter, Among Us, funny meme. Okay, that's fine. Oh my god, Sussy imposter! So yeah, the Rivoli tribe joins the Ugandi tribe. The Rivolo joins Ugandi Empire. And yeah, it is major damage. That sounds weird, but war just keeps happening. And now the Ugandi tribe is massive. Like, now they went from the entire most southern part of the world to one of the most northern parts of the main continent. And the Ugandi tribe pushes into the weak tribe. You just can't see it because they are both in the color of white. So yeah, but the borders are mostly what each side got, except not, because the Kalina Empire got way more than they actually invaded. And so did the Cyan team did, and the Ugandi tribe got less than they invaded, sadly. But they joined late to the party and stole each other's ideas, so yeah. But what's crazy is what I found out is that the entire country of the Ugandi tribe, only a little bit is in the northern hemisphere and above the equator. And everything else is below the equator. So, yeah. That's insane. What? But yeah. So I'm just coloring in all the places that each thing got. And I don't know. Yes, they got a lot. So all this happens, and then I think this is when I find out that the entire oh no, is it? Yeah. This is when the Ugandi tribe takes over the Ululand. So yeah, maybe just a meme. So yeah, there's not. I'm just gonna go ahead. Oh yeah, this is when the highest part of the northern continent breaks and it slams into mainland. And I talk about how bad the how badly treated the northern continent was. Like, it went from the hurricane to a war. Then they broke apart it broke 2 times, and yeah, it's just not looking good for them. Let's skip it ahead so I can make the second video where I talk about the aftermath. But yeah, we got it. They big and strong. And they actually start invading the northern part of the Seychelles. The Seychelles, I don't know. And they encircle the capital and they take the entire place. So, R.I.P. Seychelles, you were the second tribe to ever exist in osmodic Earth. You'll forever be in our hearts. And all this stuff happens. And then eventually, a little bit after I said that I figured out that most like basically every thing in the Ugandan tribe is in the southern hemisphere, besides like a couple miles. And eventually, I'm gonna skip ahead. So the Ugandan tribe is aware of Ilulin's existence, and they start to invade it, and it is taken by the Ugandan tribe, and this is when I figure out that almost everything is taken by yeah, this is when I find out the thing. So I'm just gonna skip ahead. Yeah, we got it. And then eventually the blue team just decides, or you know what? No, the Ugandan tribe just starts taking over the science team. So it's in the top. So it's top 5. It's the last top 5 countries left. Ugandan tribe, Kalina Empire, not the Ugandan tribe, the Ugandan Empire, the little place that had their massive revolution last video, and the newly gone blue team, which I'm just gonna say, this is just gonna happen like in a couple of seconds. The blue team just decides, you know what? We kind of want to. Oh yeah. It's top 3 now since the Ugandan Empire finds out about the country that had their revolution last video, and the blue team is like, you know what? We kind of want to stop existing. So they kind of just, we're not, wait. Yeah. So I feel like nobody expected this top 3, except for one place, the Ugandan tribe. I think everybody expected. But also the Kalina Empire, I don't think anybody expected, because in the beginning, when they first got found, they were super tiny and super weak. And same thing with the blue team. The blue team, again, like I said, just decides to stop existing, so they just self-destruct, and there's like a bunch of open land left. And now it's just 2 countries left, the Kalina Empire and the Ugandan Empire. And obviously it's pretty clear who would win, the Ugandan Empire, if they fought. So making it more fair, I decide to go to to spin a wheel. Each one has 3 lives. If it landed on the Ugandan Empire, then the Kalina Empire would lose a life. So yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Not good. Not good. Yeah. Like I said, they decide to spin the wheel, and I think this is when it ends. So I forget that I was doing this European wheel thing, and then it just ends because for some reason OBS is just like that. And I am going to stop recording because I'm going to do the aftermath talkover because it also had that crappy audio.